to be with all of you today and to welcome Jill. My name is Gamze Dinçkök Yüceoğlu, and I have the honor of leading TÜSİAD Education Working Group. Our main goal at TÜSİAD is to focus on Turkey's global and economic competitiveness to promote democracy, social progress, and inclusive growth. And since the beginning, education has been a core focus at TÜSİAD, because we know that without increasing the education quality, we won't be able to bring any profound change. It's an honor and privilege to welcome you, Jill. We, as TÜSİAD and as Ashoka, are also with you in what you call your mission to help people bring the best out of themselves. And we are happy to be collaborating and eager to be listening to your wisdom and to learn from you. Thank you.
I want to actually dive right in. So you are known to be kind of one of the biggest advocates of play, bringing play back into the education system in the US. Also one of the strong voices on what needs to change about the way we perceive education. So I'll just ask you to comment for 1 or 2 minutes on your life journey and your work at Playworks.
Sure. So just started, I wanted to thank all of you. It's an honor to be here and just appreciate the work. I got to visit in Turkey a few years back and meet some of you, and was just so inspired. And when I was listening to Gamze just describe what's happening there, it does feel very resonant. And so much of what you all are working on and discussing feels like the core issues we're discussing and wrestling with here in the United States. So my journey, I started my first nonprofit organization when I was 23 years old, a children's art museum, and ran that for 9 years. And then that led to me launching Playworks. And that was 24 years ago that I started Playworks, because I saw in schools that when I was growing up, play was such an essential part of my whole educational experience. I lived for recess, the break time when we got to go outside and play. And I noticed in schools that had really fallen away. So then I started working on that in just a very small way in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco area where I live. And there was suddenly much demand for it all over the country. And so Playworks grew. And that was when I became an Ashoka Fellow. And being an Ashoka Fellow just made a huge contribution to both our ability to raise money all across the country, but more importantly, I got to meet fellows all around the world who were working on the power of play and sport as a tool for social and youth development. And I really came to understand play as a tool for social change. And then, as one does, when one has sort of a revelation as a grown-up, I then started looking back on my own childhood and youth and young adulthood and really came to see how so much of my experience as an adult, as a woman leading a business that grew to have 500 staff, that how I navigate the world was very much forged in my experiences of play, that my ability to share, take turns, to figure out when I should be the star and when I should help others really be the star. Those were all skills I think I learned through play.
And kind of, do you see any opportunities in the way the education system reacted to the pandemic?
I mean, I tend to always think about any challenges that arise, right? The flip side of any challenge is always an opportunity. This moment has really compelled us in America, but all around the globe, to really reconsider our priorities. I think in this moment, what has become so clear is how important social connection is, even if we are maintaining physical distance. I would say too, especially around play in schools, as we go back to schools, and in the United States too, in combination with the pandemic, we've also been dealing with a moment of really profound reckoning around our racist both past and present here. And there's a lot of work being done by educators in particular to reimagine how when we reopen schools, how we do it in a way that isn't going back to how it was, but how we actually build back better.
Jill, I saw many heads nodding actually as you were making some points.